to my channel and welcome to today's video. Today's video is going to be the mid-year freakout tag because we have actually got to the halfway point of the year. It is crazy that we are like over halfway through this year already. This year is going by so quickly. I've been having a really good reading year so far. I have actually read 160 books so far this year, which is only 40 away from my Goodreads goal of 200 books. So I think we're going to pass that and I am really excited. I've been reading some really great books this year and I can't wait to talk about these books and go through the questions with you. So I'm not sure who did the original tag because this tag has been around for a while, but I will leave the original tag if I can find it down below. I will put the questions in the description box, so if you want to do this video as well, or if you have done this video, then please do let me know because I'd love to check out your video and your answers. So and I will just preface this by saying that some of these questions I really could not pick one answer, so I have multiple answers for some of these. I've tried in places to keep it just to one answer where I can, but sometimes it's really hard. Like the first question is best book, like how do you pick the best book? Because I've read so many really great ones and I just couldn't decide which ones to pick. So let's dive into it. So for best book, I actually have 3 answers. So we'll start with the 2 that I own. So the first one is The Serpent and the Wings of Night by Carissa Broadbent. This will not be the first time or the last time, sorry, that I mentioned Carissa Broadbent in this video, but I really enjoyed reading this one. I read this one at the beginning of the year and I really love the writing in this one. This one is a vampire romance and I really like the world Carissa Broadbent has created, and this series is so much fun. I cannot wait for the rest of the books to come out, and this is obviously the first book in the Crowns of Nyaxia series and is obviously the starting point for the series, and I really recommend reading this series in order and starting with this book. And yeah, I had a really good time reading it, although it's a long-ish book. I think it's over 500 pages, 568 pages. Oh no, that's with the author note, 564. It flew by. Like I really read through this so quickly because I was just eating up this story and could not put it down. So highly recommend that one. Then we have When in Rome by Sarah Adams. So this one is the first book in her Rome, Kentucky series, and this series follows a family in a small town in Rome, Kentucky, and this one is about a pop star who basically wants a break from the limelight and ends up in this small town of Rome, Kentucky, where she meets what's his name? Does it tell me on the back? Noah, that's it. Her name's Amelia and his name's Noah, and she meets Noah, who works in the small town bakery, and they really hit it off, and it's their romance and I absolutely loved it, ate it up. Sarah Adams is a really good contemporary romance author, and if you're looking for a small town romance series, I would highly recommend this one. Then the other book that I want to mention is Beating Heart by Laura Pavlov. This is book 4, I think it was, in the Magnolia 4 series. I've really enjoyed reading this series this year. I think I've read all of the books this year, or maybe the first one was last year, but the majority of the books I've read this year, and I have now completed this series, but Beating Heart was definitely my favourite. It is a small town romance series, and this one is a single dad, and I love the single dad trope. It's one of my favourites, and this one was so good. So in this one we have Nash, who is a single father to Cutler, aka Beefcake, and he has quite severe asthma, and the local small town doctor has decided to retire, and he brings in a new doctor called Emerson, and she's from the big city, and Nash doesn't like her at first because he does not think that she's going to be sticking around and doesn't think that she'll be interested in taking care of her son, but they quickly develop a relationship and it is so good. I love seeing Emerson's relationship develop with Cutler, aka Beefcake, because they are so cute together, and I really love this one. This whole series has been a lot of fun, but that one's definitely been my favourite. So next the question is best sequel, and I am not very good with reading sequels. I am very bad at starting a series and then not continuing on with it or taking a really long time to get to the next book. But there is one sequel that really stands out in my mind, and that is The Rebel Witch by Kristen Cicerelli. I read The Crimson Moth at the end of last year and I was so excited for the second book to come out. I couldn't wait to get my hands on this one. I obviously won't spoil too much about what happens in this one, but The Crimson Moth is basically follows a witch and a witch hunter and their romance. We have our witch who, in this world, it's illegal to be a witch, and so they are hunted, and she helps other witches who have been captured by the witch hunter, and she helps free them, and she has the kind of name of the Crimson Moth, and our witch hunter kind of suspects that she is the Crimson Moth, so he forms a relationship with her to try and figure out if she is the Crimson Moth, and she wants to get in a relationship with him to work out where he is hiding some of the witches that he has captured. So they kind of enter into this kind of cat and mouse situation, and it is so good. Really love this series. This is a duet, so you don't see too many of those, and I really appreciated that this is not a long drawn out series, that this was all concluded in the 2 books. And this is actually a young adult series, but it does toe the line between young adult and new adult. And I would definitely recommend checking out this series if you haven't done so already. Highly recommend. Then we have new releases that you are still yet to read, and I have so many that I need to read. So I have 3 that I wanted to mention here, and that is The Night and the Moth by Rachel Gillig. This is Rachel Gillig's newest book. I really enjoyed the Serpent King duet. I thought that was a solid read, and I'm interested to check out this one, although I have heard some mixed things. And this is the Waterstones special edition, which has this gorgeous sprayed edge. Can't wait to dive into this one, and the cover for this is beautiful. Then we have Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I cannot wait to read this. Taylor Jenkins Reid is one of my favourite authors, I would say, and I am up to date on all of her books, so I've read everything that she's published. This is the only thing by her that I have not yet read, and this only came out a few weeks ago, so cannot wait to dive into this one. This is the Works special edition that they did with the reversible dust jacket. So this is not the original cover, this is the dust jacket exclusive to the Works, but I prefer this to the original, to be honest, and this also has sprayed edges. And then the last one that I want to mention is Fearless by Lauren Roberts. I need to get to this one. This is the last book in the Powerless. I forgot the title there. Powerless trilogy. Although there is another book coming out called Fearful, so I'm not sure if that follows the same characters or what the deal with that one is. But I'm really excited to check it out, this one. Although again, I have heard mixed things about this one, so I'm interested to see what I make of it. But love that one and cannot wait to dive into it. Then we have most anticipated books for the second half of the year. So there are so many books coming out in the second half of the year that I cannot wait to get my hands on, but I have 5 here that I want to mention. So first one is The Fallen and the Kiss of Dusk. This is book 4 in the Crowns of Nyaxia series by Carissa Broadbent. Cannot wait for this one to come out. I'm up to date on this series and I'm like eagerly awaiting that one. Then we have Wildcard by Elsie Silver. This is her 4th book in the Rose Hill series. I'm not up to date on this series, but I'm really looking forward to getting my hands on this one. I really love the cover for this one. It's going to be purple, which I absolutely love. Then we have The Gingerbread Bakery by Laurie Gilmore. This one, again, I'm looking forward to. Laurie Gilmore's books are like really cozy reads, small town romances, and the covers for this series is absolutely gorgeous. I'm interested to see if the Works are going to do a sprayed edge edition like they did for the Strawberry Patch Pancake House, and if they do, I will definitely be picking that up. Then we have The Defender by Anna Huang. I love Anna Huang's books, and I still need to read King of Envy, but I cannot wait for The Defender. This is the second book in her sports romance series that she's currently writing. I can't remember the name of the series, so I'll put that on the screen, but this is book 2. I really love The Striker and cannot wait to see what happens in The Defender. And then lastly, this one's a relatively new release that's on my radar, and that is Princess of Blood by Sarah Hawley. I recently read Servant of Earth by Sarah Hawley and really enjoyed that one, and the book ends on a cliffhanger, so I need to see the sequel so I can find out what's going to happen, but cannot wait to read that. Then we have Biggest Disappointment, and to be honest, this was a hard-ish question to think of, because if I'm not really loving a book, I do tend to DNF, and I have got better with DNFing books. I'm not perfect. I don't DNF sometimes when I should, but I have tried to get better at doing so. But the biggest disappointment for me was Where Shadows Meet by Patrice Caldwell. This was marketed as being like a sapphic vampire romance, and I just didn't love this one. I didn't enjoy the writing, I wasn't invested in the story, and I ended up giving it 2 stars. So I was really disappointed not to love that one, because the cover and the cover was gorgeous and the premise sounded so good, but sadly didn't work for me. Then for biggest surprise, I have Problematic Summer Romance by Ali Hazelwood. So this was a big surprise for me, because I have read all of Ali Hazelwood's books with the exception of The Love Hypothesis, and all of them have just been okay to me. Like, I haven't really loved any of them. I've given a couple of them 4 stars, but most of them have been kind of 3 stars. I think I've given one 2 stars. She's just been like an okay author for me, and I keep buying into her books because of the hype, and I was umming and ahhing as to whether I was going to pick up her newest release, because, as I say, I've had mixed experiences in the past, but I did decide to check it out because I got it from the library, so if I didn't enjoy it, I wasn't really losing anything, because I could just DNF it and I wouldn't have wasted any money on it. But it was so good. I had a really good time reading it. It's a great summer romance. It is a age gap romance and a brother's best friend, little sister trope, and it was really good. It follows Connor and I've forgotten her name. I'll put it on screen, and they are in Italy for the summer for I think her name was, I want to say Alice, but that could be wrong. I think that's wrong. I'll put it on screen what her name was, but they are in Italy for her brother's wedding, and there is feelings going on there from the get-go. They have a past, and yeah, it's so good. Really recommend that one. If you are looking for a really summery read, I think that one's a really good one to pick up. Then we have Favourite New Author, and this can be a like new as in debut author or a new to you author, and for that one I'm going with Carissa Broadbent. She is a new author to me this year, and I'm so glad that I picked up her books. I am up to date with the Crowns of Nyaxia series, and I have read the 2 like novellas, Slaying the Vampire Conqueror, and I think it was 6 Scorched Roses. I've read everything that she currently has published to date, and I cannot wait for the next one. She's an author that I'm going to be checking out as soon as her books are released. I know she has another series that started off independently published and is going to be traditionally published later this year. I can't remember the name of that one, but I think the first book is called Daughter of Worlds or something like that. Again, I'll put on screen the information, but I cannot wait for those books to come out, and yeah, highly recommend if you're looking for a fantasy romance author to check out. Then we have Newest Fictional Crush, and I'll be honest, I don't really get crushes per se on fictional characters, but my fictional crush, if I had to pick one, would be Nash from Beating Heart by Laura Pavlov. As I mentioned in my best books, he is a single dad, and I just love that trope so much. I love the way he cares for his child, and I love seeing him fall in love with Emerson. It was such a good book, and he is definitely a fictional crush. And then for newest favourite character, I picked Misha from the Crowns of Nyaxia series. I'm holding up the Songbird and the Heart of Stone, which is book 3 and the first book in the Shadowborn duet, and this duet follows Misha, and we are waiting for the second book in this duet to come out, which comes out later in this year, and I cannot wait to see how this story ends. Absolutely love her as a character. I think she's so much fun. Then we have Book That Made You Cry. Now this question is really hard for me because I do not cry very often at books / at all. It's very difficult to make me cry when it comes to reading a book. But if I had to pick one, and I don't think I actually cried when reading it, but it's probably the saddest one that I've read, and that was Powerful by Lauren Roberts. I won't obviously spoil what happens in that book, but if you've read it, you know, and it's a short, I wouldn't say novella length, but it's a shorter story in the, well, it's not part of the core books in the Powerless trilogy. It's like book 1.5, and it has a really sad ending. I didn't cry when reading it, but I think it is the saddest book that I've read, and I would definitely recommend checking it out, but you do need to read Powerless before you read it. And then Book That Made You Happy, the one that I put down for this is Vera Wong's Guide to Snooping on a Dead Man. I just have such a fun time reading this series. It's not necessarily the best mystery series. If you're looking for a great mystery, this series isn't for you, but this one is just so much fun. Vera Wong is an older woman who kind of stumbles into various different mysteries, and she can't help but get involved, and the audiobooks are definitely the way to go with this series. They are so much fun, and I just find myself laughing and smiling when I'm reading this series or listening to the audio. Jessie Q Susano's writing is pretty good like that. She does mix kind of humour and serious quite well. And yeah, I had such a good time reading this book and I cannot recommend it enough. Then we have Most Beautiful Book You've Bought This Year. So there are so many books that I could mention for this, but there's 3 that I wanted to mention. Some of them I have already shown in other questions. One I am going to repeat, and that is Fearless by Lauren Roberts. I do really love the cover for this one. I love the cover for this series as a whole. But this one I really like because it's pink, and pink is my favourite colour. It has pink sprayed edges, and the naked hardcover for this one is also really pretty. I'm just going to take the dust jacket off so I can show you. But this is the naked hardcover. It's pink with silver foiling, and I just love it. And it says on the back, Forever My Undoing. It's quite hard to show because of the glare, but love that. And then it also has the alternate pink dust jacket, which I do really like that, but I can't help but love the original. So that is one that is definitely really pretty. Then I have Hooked by Emily McIntyre. This is the special collector's edition that she's released. She's doing these for all of the books in the series. I have the originals just up there. I love this series so much, and when I saw that they were doing special editions, I just couldn't refuse. So this is the special edition. It is a cloth bound edition, and it's got this gorgeous design on the front, and then on the back it's got it says a little bit of faith, misplaced trust, missing pixie dust, and a villain who just needed to steal a little love. And this series is basically reimaginings of different Disney stories with the villain as the hero, and I love that. And then it has sprayed edges, and it says darling on there. It's got the little clock, love that. And it also has some artwork inside as well, which is our 2 main characters. And I think this one was signed as well. Yeah, it's signed as well. And it says, darling, because even villains deserve a little bit of love. And yeah, Scarred is coming out really soon. I cannot wait to have that one in my collection. I just have this one like facing out on my bookshelves because it is so gorgeous. I love this design. Cannot believe that I have that one in my hands because it's so gorgeous. And then lastly I have God Killer by nearly dropped it, Hannah Kaner. This one is so pretty. I love this design. When I saw this cover come out, I knew that it was a cover that I wanted on my shelves because it is really stunning. The graphics on here is really pretty. I love that. So that is the prettiest books I've got. As I say, I could have listed so many others, but I thought I'd keep it down to 3. And then for the last question is, what books do you still need to read for the second half of the year? So this one, obviously I could have gone down the route of listing some more new releases that are coming out in the second half, but I wanted to keep it to ones I already had. So I've got 2 that are new releases from early in the year that I haven't got to, and 2 backlist titles. So we're just going to show you those now. So we have Tempt Me at Twilight by Lisa Kleypas. This is book 3 in her Hathaway series. At the beginning of the year, I was trying to read this series. I was doing really well reading 1 book a month, and then I just kind of fell off the bandwagon with it and haven't picked them up, but I do really want to continue on with this series. There was a read along happening for this series, which is what I wanted to kind of, or why I was kind of pushing myself to read them, but obviously that's all finished now. They're actually moving on to reading the Ravenels, which I have already read. This is the only series I think from Lisa Kleypas that I have yet to read. So cannot wait to read this. This follows the Hathaways and its historical romance. And I'll just quickly show you the step back on this one. Cannot wait to dive into this. I love Lisa Kleypas writing. I really wish that she was writing a new book, but since Devil, what was it called? The Devil in Disguise, was that it? Her most recent one? That came out like a few years ago and we've heard nothing since about anything that she's going to publish, but I really wish that she would publish something new, but that's that one I have on my list. Then we have The Goal by Elle Kennedy. This is book 4 in the Off Campus series. I am very slowly making my way through the Off Campus series and reading Elle Kennedy's backlist. I really enjoy Elle Kennedy's books. I've been enjoying reading this series and I would really like, ideally, to complete the series this year, but I don't want to be too ambitious, and I'll just say that I want to read the next book in the series. Then we have Wild Side by Elsie Silver. This one is book 3 in the Rose Hill series. I've been enjoying this series. This series is a series of single dad romances, and as I've said in this video quite a few times now, single dad trope, the single dad trope is one of my favourites, so I really do need to dive into this. I have no explanation as to why I've not read it yet, but definitely this is a priority read for the remainder of the year, as is the next book, which is King of Envy by Anna Huang. This is book 5, book 5 in the Kings of Sin series, and I love this series. I love Anna Huang's writing. She's one of my favourite authors, and I think for me the reason that I've not read this one yet is because once I read this, I will not have any more of her books to read because I am up to date on all of her releases. Whereas with Elsie Silver, I've still got quite a few of her books in her backlist to go back and check out. But yeah, cannot wait to dive into this one. I've heard really good things, and as I say, I love Anna Huang's writing. I just cannot wait to dive into that one. And that is all of the books that I'm going to be mentioning for this video. So this has been the mid-year freakout tag. As I said at the beginning, if you have done this video, please let me know down below so I can go and check it out. And if you haven't done this video yet, then please do this video. It's so much fun to kind of check in and kind of see what people have been reading and loving throughout the year. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys in my next one.